Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands. Welcome to an SB Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out some tracks from an act named DJ Nervous, the first of these titled You Better Run. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen on Spotify. We're going to be listening to this track and the other two from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it. You Better Run.
Told you on that roof in Amsterdam, I can't be fine with just a one-night stand. I fall too deep, can't keep it light. I warned you then I'll never do it.
Great atmosphere to it.
But you had me in that hotel room kneeling. I watched you fuck me in the mirror on the ceiling. Now I can't escape this nagging feeling. My need for you is past concealing. You better run because I wanna chop you into pieces and savor every bite. Pack you in my bag and take you on a flight. Stuff you like a pillow and hold you extra tight. Extract you like espresso and swallow you tonight.
Damn. And now we're really kicking into it. Really effective.
You mark your place and now I mark mine. You're my obsession, nowhere to hide. I'll be the scar you never wanna show. You think you'll leave, but I won't let you go. Because I'll have you in my room, kneeling and by the end you'll be hanging from the ceiling. Now you can't escape this nagging feeling. You need from me is past concealing. It's too late to run because I'm gonna chop you into pieces and savor every bite. Pack you in my bag and take you on a flight. Stuff you like a pillow and hold you extra tight. Extract you like espresso and swallow you tonight, tonight. No mind to love, no need to hide. We'll stay together, hearts open wide. No more fears, just you and me, lost in this love for eternity.
I mean, it's really well fleshed out for a 3-minute track. There's a lot to appreciate. No, this is a really fantastic first impression. So this is DJ Nervous with their track You Better Run, and I enjoyed my time with it. I think that the song is about someone who had a one-night stand with a rather dangerous lady, and now they want to chop them up and basically hang them on their wall. And that's a really interesting story. You Better Run. It's really clever, and it's from the perspective of the lady wanting to do this. And I think that it's really clever. Like, it's unique. I haven't really heard a track like this from this angle. I love it. I think that the vocal performance was really tight. Very sort of comfortable in our vocal range and chest voice. We communicated really clearly, and it was very easy to listen to. And there was a sort of a sexiness to it, but also a danger to it, with the way that we sort of, like almost like a psychopathic calmness to it, where we just sort of just genuinely saying what we were going to do and how we were going to come up, and we were giving a gentle sort of warning, and it was sort of unnerving because of that. But I think it was also quite effective because of that. I really liked how the vocals told the story and how they niched into the track. We had effectively what amounted to synth, bass, and drums throughout a lot of this. We had key sort of melodies, really soft kind of filtered stuff going on with reverb tails and stuff through the intro, with those bass synths being quite, with a sense of animosity in the low end with those. It was very much sort of a world building experience with the earlier elements there, to come in with, again, with those synth bass and drums later on, there's some really interesting alt sub leads there that didn't try to overtake the vocals, but were a nice compliment to them. But the bass and drums typically either kind of like punctuating certain elements or really going full bore in those drop parts to then alternate between. Structurally, it was really well handled, some interesting builds, great sense of dynamic range to it. I won't go into too much here, but it's really well handled, and the production was tight. It's a good start. And the second track is titled Ghost Me, so let's listen to this too.
You left me hanging, waiting for a sign, like mist in the night. You were gone in no time. No calls, no texts, just a cold, empty space. But I'm here loving every bit of this chase. I see shadows moving in the dark. Feel your presence, feel that spark. Disappear and leave me on red. But I like this thrill, dancing with the dead.
Again, the vocals are really well produced.
In the silence I find electricity. Ghost me, haunt me in the mystery. Love the chase, love this twisted energy. Ooh.
Oh, trap, baby.
Every time you vanish, I feel alive.
It's professional grade.
Hide and seek, it's a vibe. You're like a phantom here and gone, but I'm drawn to the thrill of moving on. You're a spirit that I can't hold. In the night I feel the cold. No need to talk, just haunt my dreams. In the shadows nothing's what it seems. Ghost me, in the silence I find electricity. Ghost me, haunt me in the mystery. Love the chase, love this twisted energy. Ooh. As you know, I like having a little sensitivity. Every whisper in the dark, every flicker, every spark. Keep me guessing, keep me lost. I'll pay the price, whatever the cost. Ghost me, in the silence I find electricity. Ghost me, haunt me in the mystery. Love the chase, love this twisted energy. Ooh.
The transitions with those notes are interesting.
I like having a little sensitivity.
No, it was really nice and short. This was Ghost Me from DJ Nervous. I think it was more about... I'm not really sure how to take it. I had to listen through it just really quickly to sort of like piece it together. I'm wondering if it's about someone saying, ghost me because I like the mystery of it. Like, are we just saying that we don't mind being ghosted by the person because we don't mind the chase or something like that? Is it following on from the previous track? Is it like the electricity of it? It's like, I can't tell whether they mean like ghost as in like you're ghosting someone as in you're haunting someone or something like that, or maybe it's haunting you that the person ghosted you, if that makes sense. Either way, I'm not going to think about that too much. Like, just, it's an interesting track that I think I need another time through it to sort of really sort of piece it and feel it together. Similar comments to the previous one about the vocals. I thought they were well handled, so solid vocal technique. Interesting melodies, etc. How we went between octaves, there were some interesting shifts. I think going for a different sort of feel style-wise was smart here, because it really gives you a full understanding of their capacity as a producer. We going for that sort of trap sort of halftime vibe here, with some really sort of like stellar drops there, very comfortable with our bass there, the drums and bass niching well. With dynamic range, things just completely cancel out before the drums kick back in that drop section there. Great polish to the production in general there. There's no real issues with the way anything sounds or is leveled in the mix. Things are quite clear and palatable. It's just, again, like the vocal chops that we have with the alt lead parts and the cool responses we have further kind of enhance the experience in a way that, again, is positive. I've got no real complaints about this. It sounds commercial grade. It's a fantastic first impression. They clearly know what they're doing. And the feeling overall is well connected to the previous piece, almost like they could be a part of the same album. And then we've got Electric Lust, track number 3. Pretty easy clicks there.
up in your flame. You got me feeling this electric lust. I feel you rising, I can feel the rush. Pin me down, make me numb. Oh my God, I'll go into.
Kind of blunt with the bass, but I don't necessarily mind it.
Dark room, I can't see your face. Close enough to feel your taste. Breath on my neck, a wicked game. Every move, I call your name. Fingers trace a burning line. Cross the edge, blood the line. Caught between what's wrong and right. Feel the thrill of the night. You got me feeling this electric love.
Comfortable slight variations in those percussive grooves.
Rising, I can feel the rush. Pin me down, make me numb. Oh my God, I'll go into. In the dark, you pull me close. Whisper words nobody knows. Your lips like sin, your touch like flames. We're lost in this, no one to blame. You got me feeling this electric lust. I feel you rising, I can feel the rush. Pin me down, make me numb. Oh my God, I'll go into.
Cool. No, that was awesome. No, well done. So that was DJ Nervous and their track Electric Lust. It's like the feeling of electricity you get from someone, the way they kind of rile you up and the tension in the air and everything like that. And it's kind of being alluded to in regards to like the raw energy they might have had in the first or second track when they were talking about being ghosted, as if like, because there's stuff I wish I'd said in that previous track's conclusion section, which I'll say now, even though it's not necessarily particularly relevant. With the previous track, Ghost Me, I thought that it kind of sounded ghostly, how you had those synth pads kind of passing over each other with the reverb towers and stuff like that, sounding sort of wistful. In this track, there was more of a sizzle to what was going on with a lot of those elements there. There's a crisp and a kind of like a bit of kind of grit to what was going on with the way the bass and drums clicked together. The bum bum ba bum bum ba 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 bum. It kind of sounded elegant and almost a little bit kind of like tense with the way those staccato sort of plucks go. But either way, another sort of unique, interesting motif there at a different tempo with a different style there and a different structure. Great use of drums and bass again with slightly different textures, but the same sort of effect to make it sound like, again, it's part of the same album, but also like not making it sound too similar so that they can be easily differentiated. Similar vocal style there with a similar sort of tension to it. I like some of the rises and the little melodic tails we have in parts. There's a great sense of dynamic range to the piece. Things are not the same loudness all the entire time, and it's nice to have distinct sections where you can appreciate the instruments within the arrangement by themselves. And yeah, honestly, like I feel like I don't think there's much we could have done to necessarily improve this. It's a track where it has its own clear sense of identity. It's not too overproduced. Like, we clearly understand how to niche our various sort of like subleads and leads and bass and drums and pads and stuff together in a way which is meaningful, and we've had a great sense of atmosphere with previous tracks as well as this one. We've got consistency in regards to the overall production value and performance of it, so I'm happy about that. But we're going to talk about each of these tracks more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track, or rather these tracks from an act named DJ Nervous, titled You Better Run, Ghost Me, and also Electric Lust. What do I think each of these tracks are about? I mean, like, I've spoken about them per section, but my overall sort of understanding of what it's about is specifically related to the fact that it seems like we've got this sort of sense of close physical attraction, sexual tension, but there's also these feelings of like being ghosted, or like there's electricity being involved, and the danger maybe of like technology and how to fix relationships. But either way, I think that more relates to the EDM-ish kind of stuff than anything else. I think it's trying to tie that in. Ultimately, the stories within this are sort of a lady's perspective on these different sort of like feelings that they have of wanting to take this person away in a suitcase and hang up on the wall, or like their views on the sort of ghosting stuff, or the kind of the thrill of the chase, or you know, of the feelings of like the heightened tension they have with the other person. Either way, I think that these are interesting stories. They make sense together. You can easily follow along with what's going on. The vocal performances themselves were pretty solid. I appreciate the wide variety of different melodies we had within it. We didn't typically have massive vocal melody harmonies. That was mainly just the one voice. And I think it allowed for a lot of wiggle room within the actual arrangement itself. Typically, you had sort of bass synths, you had bass pads, you had synth leads, or synth pads and synth leads, with drum patterns and some pluckish kind of lead parts there. There were lots. It was very kind of misty, kind of reverby in the parts that weren't the drops there. Like, again, when the kicks kicked in, they sidechained that bass, and they were tight, and they were thick and full of life, and there was absolutely no stopping them. But it was just more of a situation where we had so much variety structurally with these different instruments and ingredients involved that we could have moments where it was very sort of airy with, again, the bass synths rumbling and reverberating in the low end. And with like these really pretty keys, the leadish part on top there, but then we kind of smacked into it with these really intense sort of builds and rises, and like the vocals were there, establishing their own dominance in the mix without oversaturating it. We knew how to go between different subleads and leads, and we knew how to go between drops and verse sections and further elaborate on story and kind of bring more to the table. We understood how to make the most of the 2 or 3 minute form factor in a way where there was no filler, but we weren't also sort of like reductivist about it. We didn't reduce we didn't handhold too much. We didn't sort of like spoon feed. There was enough to kind of give you an example of what was going on there. It was accessible, but it was also not patronizing. And I appreciate that the music had a great sense of groove. It not only told a story, but it was also groovy. It had a great sense of energy and pace to it, regardless if it was normal time or half time, a faster or slower tempo, kind of sort of housey stuff or trappish stuff, or sort of... I'm not sure what the genre of the third track is there. I'd need to sort of check that out. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I don't want to sound too ignorant. It's just... these are various types of EDM that are effective. And I think that the producer, DJ Nervous, showed that they could make really great music across a range of styles whilst being particularly effective. And the functionality, again, the bass synths and the synths and pads were typically there to establish this ambience, or they were there to sort of fill in that mid-range there, with some sparkly leads being in the midst of highs that occasionally add a bit of sort of like pizzazz to those parts. But the vocals were typically there. The lady vocals were in our higher range. The lower elements there, if they were subs or sort of straight bass synths, they just pummeled. They were thick and full sounding and they had a great sense of pace, or they were on the sides there and kind of smothering you on those parts. But it was just the way things were niched and arranged within the frequency spectrum that was really impressive. And like, I also just appreciate the clarity of everything in the mix. The actual post-production, the studio production of this, once we established all these different elements, nothing ever felt too over the top or like kind of like vacant. It was very classy in the way it approached the different styles, niched the vocals with the different synth elements, with the bass and drums in a way that made sense within a frequency spectrum with no weird resonant frequencies. The music surrounded you in the headphones in a way that was very satisfying. There was dynamic range. Things just cut out immediately. They just cut out. Things just cut out. Sometimes there was just nothing, and then you'd come back in with a drop or whatever. There was filtering of some of the vocal parts and the intros as well to make things a bit more low-key. We messed with the perceived sort of like feeling and interpretation or interaction with those elements. And we understood intently how to create an experience that both makes sense for the genre as a whole as well as the individual subgenres, but also didn't sort of like overcompensate, didn't sort of throw too much at a listener at a time, and didn't sort of pander too much. Like, I think, again, the structure of the tracks, especially the first one, where like there were like odd amounts of bars of stuff. We never stayed on one thing for too long. It was exciting because of that. It didn't... I think if the track had been longer and if it had that much variation, ironically, it might have worked against it. It might just been a little bit too much, but we found that balance there. It was nice to know without pumping, a bit of side chaining, but not in a way that was negative to it. And that's basically my review of these tracks from an act named DJ Nervous. The songs being, of course, You Better Run, Ghost Me, and Electric Lust, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love. via their various social medias and a Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.